Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this year's annual Extreme Manliness Competition. I'm your host, Lionel Jacobs, and it's been a super macho morning today as Kyle faces off with Olin in the test of testosterone.
Are you ready for the next challenge, Olin?
I was born ready. How about you?
Bring it on!
I will now spin the wheel of manly challenges.
Round and round and round it goes, and it lands on...
Arm wrestling!
Oh yeah!
You are so going down.
All right, gentlemen, take your places at the table.
You lefty or righty?
Both.
I see.
The challenge will have 2 rounds. First round, right-handed. Second round, left. In case of a tie, fastest time wins.
The competitors brace themselves. There's the countdown, and they're off! Kyle is straining, and Olin seems to be... Oh, no! Kyle swings back, and round 1 goes to Kyle!
All right, you won this round, but watch this.
I'm shaking in my boots.
They switch arms. The countdown, and there they go. Amazing! In the left-handed round, Olin wins already. The time is good. Olin takes the arm wrestling challenge.
1 point to Olin.
I let you win.
Yeah, sure you did.
I will now spin the wheel of manly challenges.
And so the wheel spins a second time. Let's hope it's a good one.
The next challenge is... belching.
Okay, I got this. You got any soda?
Yeah, bring out the root beer.
This has a chance to get a little gross, folks, so I think I'm going to switch over to the first program of the morning. We will return right after this.
Hi, Mr. Jacobs. What's up this morning?
Good morning, Kimberly. I was just sorting out my tool chest. After a lot of big projects, things can get a little out of place.
Oh, is that all that's going on today?
Kyle and Olin were here a little while ago, but they went outside. I think they were having some sort of contest or something.
What kind of contest?
Looked like arm wrestling and burping. They left before I could figure out what exactly was going on.
I'll go ask him. Hi, Mr. Jacobs. Do you... Oh, hey, Kim.
Hi, what's going on?
Be sure he's got the extra spicy stuff. Not just sriracha or anything like that.
I know what we need, Kyle. Mr. Jacobs, we were wondering if you had any hot sauce.
Hot sauce? Ooh, it's a little early in the day for that, don't you think?
It's for our competition.
What kind of competition? Can I join?
Well, you can, but it might be a little awkward.
What, because I'm a girl?
Yeah, it's not anything personal. It's just this is a manliness competition and you're not a man.
Neither are you. You're still just boys.
Yeah, but it's different.
Okay, fair enough. But if I can't join your man off, what if we had a dad off instead?
A dad off?
Sure, my dad's a guy, and so are your dads. We just make them compete instead.
I hadn't thought of that.
It might be fun. What are the contest categories?
How should I know? I never said I was an expert on manliness.
We'll have to make a list so we know the rules. Can we get a piece of paper, Mr. Jacobs?
And something to write with?
You know where all the supplies are. While you work on your project, do you mind if I listen to the radio?
Nope, go ahead.
The Adventures of Super Dad. Disguised as a mild-mannered civilian with powers far beyond that of ordinary men.
Dad, it's broken.
Follow me to the Dad Cave.
Whoa! How do you keep track of all this stuff?
There's a place for everything, and everything is in its place.
Practical answers, faster than a Google search.
Has anyone seen my phone?
Where was the last place you had it?
I guess it was... here it is.
It's always in the last place you look.
Truth and love.
Can I go with Anna to the party?
Ask your mother.
Not to be mistaken for a bird or a plane. It's Super Dad.
I'm so hungry.
Let's dig in.
Wait, Jimmy. Not before we give thanks. Let's bow our heads.
Thanks, Dad, for being a real hero. Happy Father's Day from Family Life.
So, how's your list for the dad off coming, kids?
Pretty good, Mr. Jacobs. Kyle, you want to read off the events?
Sure. First off, it's the car repair challenge. Whoever can fix the car first wins.
Ooh, pretty demanding start.
Yeah, and we don't know where we're gonna get 3 broken down cars.
They're out there. We just gotta look. May I continue?
Go ahead.
Next up, we've got a hamburger eating contest. First dad to finish 5 mega burgers wins.
They're gonna have to buy the burgers though. We don't have any money.
Olin, you're jumping ahead. Money count doesn't come until after the battle royale and pickup truck races.
Battle Royale?
Oh, you know, the number one thing kids say about their dads.
My dad can beat up your dad.
Exactly. It had to be in our contest somewhere.
I don't think I can encourage you to ask your fathers to get into fights. In fact, there are a few concerns I have for some of these competitions, especially because none of them have anything to do with being the picture of manhood.
Really? I thought these were all pretty manly.
Well, if by manly you mean things guys do to try to impress each other, I suppose. But the Bible has a different list of things that make a man a good man.
But I like pickup trucks.
Yeah, and what's wrong with being able to work on cars and make lots of money and eat burgers really fast?
Nothing on its face, Kyle. But my point is, when it comes to what a real man looks like, God has different ideas than we do.
Okay, so what does he say a real man looks like?
Here's a Bible. Why don't we look it up, Kimberly?
But aren't we going to read a drama script to explain what we're talking about?
I mean, we can, but I don't know if I have one exactly on the topic.
You're Mr. Jacobs. You always have a script about every topic.
All right, I'll go look. Meanwhile, why don't you see if you can find some Bible verses that talk about what a true man looks like?
Oh, can we listen to the radio too?
Why not?
I've got it.
And now, from the garage of Lionel Jacobs comes the adventurous drama, The Homesteaders, an adapted biblical psalm about living for God. About a couple hundred years ago, before there were great highways that stretched from sea to shining sea, people would load up their households and head out west to start a new life for themselves.
That's right, my brother Ted and I are out looking for gold.
For sure. Thought I'd settle for a nice bit of silver myself.
But not all settlers were out looking to strike it rich. Some just wanted land to live off of, raising crops and livestock, and good, honest work.
That's right. My papa says that the first thing you want to look for is a good source of water. Nothing else matters. If you don't have good water, you've got to move on.
You're not looking for gold, Caroline? How dumb. You need to be more like us.
At least look for silver. It's the only thing worth going west for.
She's a weirdo if you ask me, Ted. Ah, well, all the more for us. I guess not all people can be smart. Gotta have a few dumb ones, or else it'll be harder on us geniuses.
And so the settlers set out on the great trail to the west to find their fortune. They went through all kinds of trials and tribulation.
Our wheel is broken. Anyone else have a spare?
I can give you mine in exchange for that barrel of pickles you got there.
Would you like Epsom salts instead, Miss Caroline? You never know when dysentery might pop up.
It's a deal.
But their trip was well worth it. Soon they were in the Sacramento Valley, a lush place with plenty of land to call home. The two brothers immediately staked out their claims on the side of the Chaff Mountain.
There's gold in them there hills.
So there must be even more gold in the mountains. It's logic.
Miss Caroline, on the other hand, took her time and looked for the perfect place to settle. After a few days, she found it.
The locals call this place La Ley de Dios. It's got a fresh mountain stream, good soil, and plenty of tall, straight trees. Anyone would be happy to settle here.
A few years passed, and Miss Caroline had made quite the name for herself along the creek bed. She sold the best fruit in the valley, and not one of her plants ran out of water.
That's right. Would you like an orange?
The two brothers, on the other hand, didn't last a single winter. The stone cliffs didn't have a drop of water on them, and the plants that they tried to raise just blew away in the mountain wind.
It's hard to find any riches when you don't have anything to eat or drink.
That's for sure.
The moral is that when it comes to living here on earth, the most important choice we can make is to follow God's commandments. When we love God with all of our hearts and love our fellow humans as much as we love ourselves, He promises that though bad times may come, we will be able to find His joy and His blessings.
So, I'm a little confused, Mr. Jacobs.
Why's that, Olin?
The drama script about the settlers didn't have anything to do with being manly.
Well, I did tell you it was going to be a stretch, but I think it's something to consider. A man that doesn't live for God isn't living the fullest life they could be. So I think it works.
Kind of, I guess.
I've been looking through the Bible for verses about being a man this whole time, Mr. Jacobs, and I'm not finding a lot.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can help out a bit, Kimberly. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 16, starting in verse 13. Here Paul is telling us to stand firm in our faith, acting like men, using our strength to show God's love.
So manliness point number 1, use our strength to share God's love.
Okay, but how do we do that?
There are quite a few ways, and verses like 1 Peter 3:7 and Micah 6:8 explain some of them to us. Men need to be respectful toward women. They need to work so there is fairness in the world and to treat everyone with kindness.
Okay, slow down. That's a lot to write down.
Sorry. I could go on about what God says about being the manliest man ever, but I think the best advice can be found in Ephesians 5, where God says to act like Him, living the way Jesus did here on earth, loving others so much that we are willing to give up everything so that they can be saved.
Last thing on the list, be like Jesus. Got it.
I've got to say, that's not a lot like our first list.
No, but it is a pretty good one. I don't know if our dads can really compete over these, though.
Yeah, it's not quite as cut and dry as a battle royale.
No, but it's probably a little more legal.
So, since we're on the topic, what are you guys planning to do for your dads for tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
I hadn't planned on anything. Should we have?
Oh, I just figured it being Father's Day and all.
That's tomorrow?
Father's Day is tomorrow? That's why my mom was making a cake when I left this morning.
Your mom makes your dad a cake?
Yeah. Is that weird?
Oh, no. I was just stealing the idea so I could do it for my dad.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Bye, Mr. Jacobs.
Hey, come back. I don't have an idea yet.
See you later, kids. I guess we're done with the radio, huh, Flynn? Let me turn it off and then we can go for a walk. Okay? Just a sec.